Hey guys, what's up? It's Gummy, and today I got part 2 of my TH9 GoHo strategy guide, and today we're going to be going over clan castle and troop placement. So I'm just going to start with the clan castle here. This raid was actually in my first video, and I'm just going to show the start of this, how I deal with the clan castle. If you'd like to check out this whole video, it is in part 1, like I said. So I do 3-star this guy, but if you just want to watch real quick, I want to show you how I like to deal with the clan castle, and I usually just go in where the AQ is, as you should, and then I use my poison spell, as you can see, regardless of what troops it brings, and yeah, and then I let my heroes and wizards kind of take it out. So that's how I deal with the clan castle. It's kind of like personal preference. I'm going to show you one more attack of a friend of mine who started doing this, so I'm going to switch over. And if you watch him, he approaches it a little differently. He pulls the clan castle and then drops a poison spell on it. And I mean, that works just as well. I guess it's just, what are you comfortable with? And this goes all back to personal flavor, which I talk about a lot in my videos, which is just that everybody kind of has their own style of attacking, which is good. Like, if you practice attacks, watch replays, you'll kind of start to develop your own style. You'll start to develop stuff that works for you, little tricks you like to do. And I'm just sharing with you guys what I've learned, share replays of my friends, and as you watch more of these attacks done correctly with their own styles, you'll kind of start to develop your own. And if you share, you know, that's probably the best thing you can do in this game, is start to develop your own strategy. And not only that, but you'll start to kind of form your attacks around the bases you're attacking, especially for war, where you can scout and build armies specifically for attacks. And I think that's the best part about this game, the fact that you can just, you know, kind of develop your attack strategies with all these hybrid attacks now, and just so many cool things you can do. So as long as you just kind of keep exploring, I'm just giving these as you guys for a template, ideas to try out, play with, so you can get better. And very quickly, just to sum up Clan Castle here, and the notes on that for TH9 GoHo. If you do it the way I did in that first video, one thing you want to make sure you're doing is you want to make sure it's very crucial that you wait until the clan castle is either like targeted on your troops totally, like your golems or heroes, or you've wiped it out before you place your hogs. Because if the clan castle targets your hogs and starts chasing them around the base, that can be like devastating to you. So it's important you get your hogs out in time, that you don't let everything die that you put out with your golems and heroes, but it's also important you don't throw them out way too early. So just experimenting, practicing, like I've said with that, you'll definitely start to get the hang of that after a couple attacks. And if you do it the way that Mason did here, one important thing to keep in mind is just make sure you pull it out. I would place golems first, so just let them target your golems. Your golems should have plenty of health for this attack. It's not crucial that they live the whole time or anything like that. I usually actually have a full golem like left alive and chilling in the middle by the end of the base. But yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next attack here. So this attack is done by yours truly, and I'm going to start talking about troop placement here. So as you can see, I placed my 2 golems. I usually try to place my golem from the clan castle, which is a higher level. I usually try to place that one closer to the archer queen and more the single target defenses, so that's an important thing to keep in mind. You also want to make sure you spread your whiz pretty far along the back there so that your heroes get funneled into the middle. You also want to save 2 wizards for cleanup. I've just learned that from doing attacks. You will time out sometimes, especially when you're first starting out. But don't worry about that. If timing out is your problem, that's definitely something you can fix, and that's a lot better than not being able to destroy the base. So the approach I took for this, for my hog placement, was actually a little different than what I usually do. It was more of a surgical placement. So what I did is, along these outside defenses, I would kind of place like 5 or 6 hogs, maybe a little more on those outside defenses, and so it would kind of like freshen up my ranks, I guess. And I wanted to wait longer on this heal spell, but after they got hit by that big bomb, I didn't really have a choice there, so I dropped that other heal spell. But ends up working out. Like I've said, hogs are really powerful. They were the best troop in the game for a long time, and they were the best troop for a reason. So even though they don't have heals for the rest of those defenses, they're able to clean them up no problem. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up the base. So those are some really quick notes on troop placement. So I want to go more in depth. I think the golem and whiz placement is pretty self-explanatory, and it only really needs a simple explanation. I mean, once you practice, you'll start to get better. My main note on that would be make sure you're placing your WallBreakers smart, you know. Scout the mortars and stuff, scout the wizards. Don't place your WallBreakers on wizards. That's the biggest mistake you can make. And when I say wizards, I mean wizard towers. Those will fry your WallBreakers so quick. But you also want to watch those mortar blasts. Make sure you time those right. Okay, so here's a clip from part of an attack. This one is also by me, and I just want to kind of dive more in depth on hog placement here. So as you're going to see, I'm about to place my hogs on this attack, and I'm just going to talk about, so hog placement, it's kind of a tricky topic for GoHo because there's so many variety of bases and so many different ways you can do it. So I'm just going to talk about some of the main things you need to be considering when you're scouting a base and deciding how to do it. So one thing is you need to think, okay, I have 3 heals, how much ground can that cover? So I figured my heroes here would take out about 1/4 of the base, right? So then I could drop these heals on these hogs and it would take about the other 3 corners, and it worked out pretty well for me. So I knew one big army would be good there. I also had a replay to watch, so I was pretty suspicious. I was pretty certain I knew where the big bombs were. They were in the top left there and the bottom right, and I was correct about that. So I killed that archer tower on the top left at the start so my hogs wouldn't get attracted near those double big bombs over there. So that leads me to double big bombs, which is another thing you really need to consider when it comes to hog placement, because double big bombs can ruin an attack. So if you think they're near the archer queen, that is awesome. If their double big bomb placement is obviously near archer queen, you just use your golem hero combo to draw those out and clear the way for your hogs. Now if it's not, hog placement can get a little more tricky. What I would personally recommend, especially when you're starting out, is because it's so tricky to deal with the double big bombs for this attack, is I would look for bases like this one. This is actually a replay I showed earlier, but this base doesn't have room for double big bombs in it, and a surprising amount of Town Hall 9s still have bases like this, even though hogs are becoming a lot more relevant. So if you find bases like this, take advantage of that. And I want to go over what I did here with the hogs. And so when I look at this base, I knew I wanted my hogs on the left side because the archer queen was on the right. So he has 3 defenses, 4 defenses along that bottom row. So what I'm thinking is my hogs are coming in from the top. If I don't clear those out with other hogs, my main group is going to split up or maybe get sidetracked down, so I didn't want that. So I made a main group that started from the top, and then when they got towards the bottom, I used little groups of hogs to kind of take out those bottom buildings along the outer wall. And like I said, that's just personal flavor, guys. I'm just experimenting with stuff here, you know, and that has actually worked well for me. So I'm starting to try to use that in other attacks too and kind of get a formula down for it so I can share more with you guys. But that is just something that you guys can play around with also, clearing out those outer buildings so your main group stays more focused on the important structures in the middle. And I have one more replay for you guys here. This is my friend who watched part 1 of this strategy guide and has been experimenting with stuff. He has his own flavor like everybody should, and I'm just going to talk about his attack real quick. This was an awesome attack by him. So as you can see, he pulls the clan castle because it's really far to the other side, which is actually really smart. I had never thought about that, but that's a good strategy. If it's on the other side of the town hall, just pull it with some hogs, but then still attack like normal, and the clan castle will just run over and your troops will clear it out. Awesome job by him, because that saves time. If you want to pull it all the way over to the side and then drop your golems, it's going to take a lot of time. So the way he does it here is great. And similar to Mason, he likes a jump spell. Personally, with my level 2 golems, I don't think a jump spell would be as relevant for me as it is for them, and you can see his heroes are a little better too. But I'll definitely start playing around with it because they were both really successful with it, and I like the way it worked, you know. For the double big bomb's sake, if they're more towards the middle, you can get your troops farther in and all that, so that's really good. And the most interesting part about his attack here, in my opinion, was this hog placement. He just threw them all around the outside. So this was kind of, I would consider this back end hogs, even though he brought 26 hogs, which would be the composition like I use, with more hogs that run around the base. And then he kind of just depended on the hog's strength to clear those last buildings, and it worked really well for him. Cleanup was a little close. He didn't save the wizards, but I mean, when you're practicing, there's so much going on in an attack. So great job by Roller here. You know, developing really well. His Town Hall 9 GoHo is looking awesome, and I hope you guys appreciate that I just give it to you straight. I don't pretend like there's some special formula that's going to win you every attack on every layout or anything like that. I mean, it truly is practice, getting your own flavor down, getting some tricks down that help you. I'm just sharing what I know, the tricks I find, what works for me and my friends, you know, developing new strategies, testing stuff out. So if you watch these replays, I think it'll really help you improve. So I would appreciate if you guys check out my channel. I have some other strategy guides. I have some good bases on there. I would really appreciate if you subscribed. I'm just starting out, and all the support is really nice to just keep motivating me to keep making these videos. And one last thing I want to mention is just that the next installment of this series, I'm going to be looking at probably trying to do some stuff on heal placement and some other important topics. I'll probably go over layouts and how to approach different ones. But I hope this helped, guys. Appreciate any feedback, and as always, stay clashy.